Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and fascinating puzzle today that I'm daring to take on. Don't forget the normal things associated with the channel. We've got a Patreon channel. You can find that by looking in the description field. There's always sudoku contests every month, and we've got a Discord server attached to the channel, if you like, and there's a lot of people always chatting about sudoku there, and other puzzles and plenty of other things. We've got loads of apps and our merchandise. But right, we're breaking a couple, not of rules, we're ignoring a couple of our preference guidelines today. So normally I don't like doing puzzles with long rule sets because they're a little inhibitive or prohibitive for people coming to the channel for the first time. If you've only seen classic Sudoku and you read this rule set that I'm about to read to you, you'd be a bit nervous. You might come at it with a bit of trepidation because it's complicated a bit. But and secondly, we normally like to recreate the puzzles in our own software, and that gives us the opportunity to use more standard wording in the rules and make them a bit more succinct sometimes. I'm not doing that this time because I don't know how Demono has actually achieved this grid in our software, and I'm not sure I could do it. But there's apparently a correct solution embedded within this, so we should find that at the end, and I couldn't do that. And frankly, there's a lot of markings that I couldn't do quite in this way, so I'm very happy to go with Demono's own version. That's the tinyURL link. If you can't use tinyURL, I'm very sorry. Most people can, so you'll just have to watch the video then. But yeah, I think this is going to be difficult. It's got absolute, like, the reasons that I'm prepared to breach the guidelines today are because this looks fascinating. This is really interesting concept. Probably a concept we try once and not again, because the boxes have been shuffled. The boxes of a standard Sudoku. So I'm going to go through the rules now. Follow along with me. This is Sudoku Ban by Demono. That's obviously a portmanteau of Sudoku and some puzzle type that I don't even know. And Demono has been a brilliant constructor for many years. I don't think we've featured Demono on the channel recently, so this is a great chance to do so again. And the rules are these. It just tells you, first of all, that, as you know, in a standard Sudoku grid, the boxes are numbered by convention from left to right and top to bottom, such that the top left box is box 1, the top middle is box 2, and so on. You go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Within each box, the cells are numbered, or they certainly can be, the same way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In this puzzle, the boxes have been separated and shuffled around, and it's up to the solver to determine their actual placement in the solution. This is crazy. It's a jigsaw. Each box... Okay, here we go. Each box must have its box number in that position within the box. So box 1, let's say this was box 1, it would have a 1 in position 1. But if this was box 1, it would have a 1 in position 1. And box 2 has a 2 in position 2, but that may not be box 2. This might be box 2. No other digit in any box may be in its self-numbered cell. Okay, so there's a negative constraint that will no doubt mess with our heads. We have to fill each box with the digits 1 to 9, so that when the boxes are restored to their proper positions, whatever that is, each digit appears exactly once in each box, each resulting row and each resulting column. So it becomes a standard Sudoku at that point. Digits in a cage must sum to the indicated number. That's fairly standard. Those two will add up to 14. Clues outside a box with no arrow are X-sum clues. So this 10 says that the first X cells, where X is the first seen digit, add up to 10. So if that's a 2, that's an 8, because then those two cells will add up to 10. That might be a 3, and these two would add up to 7. Question mark sums must be deduced by the solver. That's really weird. Sums do not cross box gaps, so that 10 can't be a 4-cell 10. Look at how the highlighting continues under the bridge. That's fabulous. Clues with an arrow are little killer clues. Digits along each indicated diagonal sum to the value of the clue. So those ones add up to 10, those add up to 10, those add up to 10. Sums do not cross box gaps. So here it's just those two that add up to 12. You don't have to look up there or anything. It's just those two that add up to 12. And in the final puzzle, it's just those two that add up to 12, even if this is box 7. Clues with an arrow. Oh, we've done that. Oh, that's all the clues. Diagonals don't cross box gaps as well. I think I said that. Anyway, those are the rules. I think certainly if you've done the variant Sudoku on the channel before, if you've come across X sums especially, or Little Killer, this is a very graspable rule set, but it looks a very difficult puzzle. Do have a go if you fancy it, and if you can, access it on the link. I am going to start now. Let's restart my clock, and let's get cracking. But how the heck do you get cracking? Okay, some of these cages have only 2 possible pairs of digits that can fill them. So a 15 cage is either 9, 6 or 7, 8. And a 14 cage is either 5, 9 or 6, 8. An 8 cage has 3 possible fills. A 12 cage only has 2. It must contain the digits 1 and 2. It's either 1, 2, 3, 6 or 1, 2, 4, 5 from memory. The X sum clues though. As soon as I say the X sum clues, my mind goes to the Little Killer clues. So those two, that's either a 6, 8 or a 5, 9 combo, just like that. 12, 12 has 3 sums, but none of them involve 1 or 2 in, so that's not a 1 or 2. So 1 and 2 are confined within that area. I'm not going to fully pencil mark the 12 thing. Now, I think... Oh, of course. Oh, and I begin to understand what the question marks are for. Right. The X sums. What is the first seen digit? Well, the important point to remember, and I hadn't really computed this, is that the first seen digit can never be more than 3 because the X sum doesn't cross the box gap. So, well, let's start off by saying all of these X sum clues are 1, 2 or 3. And now I understand the purpose of the question mark. I had thought the question mark was ridiculous because any row or column from either direction has an X sum answer. So giving that as a question mark would mean nothing. But it doesn't quite mean nothing. In fact, it means very significantly that those digits must be 1, 2 or 3. Because whatever the sum is, it doesn't matter what it is, it's not allowed to cross. So I think we've got the full amount of information we can get from the question marks. Now, these ones with the numbers in, since none of the clues are the number 1, we're not counting the first 1 cell, which would be 1. So in each case, this is either a 2-cell combination, which is 2, 6, or a 3-cell combination, which is 3, 1, 4 or 3, 4, 1. And that is crossing with the... Okay, here's the one. This one is where we start. I've got a digit, guys. Hurrah. This can't be a 2 because it crosses with this X sum clue. That adds up to 10. If this was a 2, that would be an 8 to be the complement and add up to 10 in 2 cells. And if that was an 8, these would both have to be 1s to make the 10 sum, and that breaks the rules. So, that is a 3. We get a digit. Hurrah. Now, I have no idea what box this is in, because I don't know the box number. 3 is not the box number. Wait, though. To make up 10 in those 3 digits, the minimum there is 6, and that's the only one possible of those numbers. So I've suddenly got 4 digits in this puzzle. Now, we've got a 1 here. This pair adds up to 9. It's either 2, 7 or 4, 5. Now, let's try and think about the box number. Yes, 9 is... This is box number 9, because 9 has appeared in position 9. Right, let's forget that colouring. I'm not interested. Let's colour that red. That is the number that is in its own box. Green means these are not self-referential numbers. So that means this can't be a 7, or it would be. And that takes 2 out of there. Okay, so this is how we're going to narrow down options. Now, all the position 9s in the other boxes cannot be self-referential, so I'm going to paint them all green. Okay, might have extracted all we can out of that. If we knew where boxes 8, 7, 6 and 3 were, maybe these would be helpful numbers, but we don't. So let's have a look at this. Yes, perfect. Again, this is crossing with this diagonal, which adds up to 10. If that was a 2, this would have to be a 7. And that would then be, once there's a 7 on this diagonal, the other digits on it would have to be 1 and 2, but we've already posited a 2 there. So that's not a 2, that's also a 3. These two add up to 6, but I don't know whether they're 2, 4 or 1, 5. These 3 add up to 10, and they don't include a 3. Now there are 4 ways to add up to 10. One of them doesn't include a 1 because it's 2, 3, 5, but it can't be 2, 3, 5 here because of the 3 I've put in, not on that diagonal. Another one of those includes a 3 if it was 1, 3, 6, so it's not that. This diagonal is either 1, 2, 7 or 1, 4, 5. Now, this isn't self-referential, and this one can't be. Yes, actually, some of these other clues I've put in, those can't be self-referential, as 2's not an option there and 3's not there. I get to do a bit more colouring. Oh, bother, that one can be. This one can't be a 4. This one can be an 8. This one can't be a 7. That may be why this question mark clue's been provided. I don't know. Okay, that didn't really get a lot done, but anyway. Now what box number is this? 3 can't be the self-referential digit because 3 is there. So it's either box number 1, 2, 5, 7 or 8. That's a lot of options, isn't it? Can't be 2 actually, because then that diagonal would be 1, 4, 5, and that couldn't be filled if that was a 2. So it's not a 2. That's quite interesting. If that was a 5, this is a 5, 1, 4 diagonal. That doesn't work either. That would have to be 1. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Right, so we've got it reduced to 1, which I think is possible. That would be a 2, 4 pair, but that could then be 5 or 7. So 1 seems possible. 7, 7 makes that a 1, 4, 5 diagonal and that a 2. So that becomes 4. 7 is possible. 8 there would mean what? Nothing much. Oh, well, it would be next to box 9. Hang on. 7 would make a 1, 4, 5 diagonal. 8. Yes, okay, I've just realised another rule about this puzzle, another point about it, which I may have sort of applied in thinking about individual boxes, but for this 9, for instance, where it appears in the final grid will be in the same row as obviously boxes 7 and 8. And in boxes 7 and 8, they must have the digit 7 in box 7 in that row. And 8, like, if this was the correct final grid, 7 would be there, 8 would be there. 9 would be there. And that means neither of these next to 9 could be 7 or 8. So those cannot be 7 or 8. They're not. But similarly, these can't be 3 and 6 because 9 will be there, 6 will be there, 3 will be there in the final grid. And that's going to apply throughout. And I haven't really worked out a way that helps. So this can still be 1 because you can't have 2 or 3 there. So 7 here, which would make this a 1, 4, 5. Yeah, that's interesting. 7 here would make this a 5, because this would be a 1, 4, 5 diagonal, but you couldn't have 1 or 4 above the 7, because in the final grid there'll be a 7 here, a 4 here, and a 1 here. So 4 and 1 can't go in the box with the 7 in that column. So 7 here makes that a 5, which makes this a 4, 2, 1. Oh, look, this is brilliant. That is impossible then. Right, if that's a 7, we've got 5, 4, 1 here, a 2 here. We've worked that out. And this would have to be selected from 6, 8 or 9. But if this was the bottom row of the grid with 7 there, you wouldn't be allowed to put 8 here because, well, it would be self-referential and it has to appear in the 8 box. You can't put 9 there because that appears in the 9 box. And in this case, you can't put 6 there because that's in the 9 box on the bottom row. So that is not the self-referential 7. I hope you followed that. Go watch it again if you didn't, because it's definitely true. Now, 8 here, though, could not be accompanied by a 7 there, or a 6, or a 9. So 6 and 9 would have to go up here. If that's an 8, 6 and 9 are at the top, and that is possible, annoyingly. 7, 2, 1. Yeah, it looks like that can be an 8. I'm pretty sure it can be a 1 as well. I can't see why it couldn't be. Yeah, I don't know. I was spending a bit of time wondering if this cell can be a 7 in any circumstances, but I can't even work out if it could, and I don't even think it would help me, so that's a silly thing to worry about. But we have at least narrowed down the box options for this. I'm going to take small victories in this puzzle because it doesn't look easy. Look at this 10 diagonal crossing this cage, which we have marked as having one. Right. These 10 sums must contain either 1 or 2. The possibilities are 1, 2, 7, 1, 3, 6, 1, 4, 5, and 2, 3, 5. Now each of those, well, 1, 2, 7 has both 1 and 2 in it. The others all have one of them. And in this cage, you can put one of those here, but the other one is not going to be allowed to go in that diagonal. So this is an overlap cell. That is 1 or 2. This is not 1, 2, 7. I don't know what it is. I thought... This is in the 12 cage, but it's not 1 or 2. So it's 3, 4, 5, or 6. And the complement of that is 7, 8, 9, or 6, but double 6 would be a repeat. Right, this digit is green because it can't be an 8. This is green because it can't be a 6. This is green because it can't be a 5. Now we're doing something. I don't know what we're doing, but we're doing it. Right, this can't be a 2. No, sorry. No, not sorry. I'm right. Sorry, not sorry. Right, if that was a 2, this would have to be a 3, 5 pair because the 1 would go up here. Now, if that was a 3, 5 pair, this would be a 4. And now you've got 2 and 4 in the box. You need to make it up with 1 and 5, but you can't do that because we've posited a 3, 5 pair. So that is a 1. There is a 2 up here. This is not 1, 2, 7. Now, is it 1, 3, 6 or 1, 4, 5? If it was 1, 4, 5, you'd have a 3 here. That would be a 2, 6 pair. Oh, actually, these are from 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. They're the only numbers that can go in this cage. So that is a crazy quintuple of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The remaining cells are 7, 8, 9. This one can't be a 4 and is green. This one can't be a 7 and is green. This one can't be a 1 and is green. Come on. Oh, bother. If this is red, it's a 3. Then you've got 3, 1, 6. And 1, 2, 4, 5 in the cage. Okay, that does seem to work. If this is red and is a 2, it doesn't really tell me anything. Oh, bother. So this is either box 2 or 3. Is there a clash with this possible box 1? No. There is, no, there's a beautiful implementation of a clash. Right, this, oh no, that only applies if this is box 1. This could be box 8. Bother. Wait. This is either box 8 or box 1. If it's box 8, that's box 9. You've got a 1 in row 8 of the final grid, and you can't have a 1 here. If this is box 1, you can't have a 1 here at all. So there's no 1 there. That is a 2, 4 pair. This is either 1, 2, 7 or 1, 5, 4. Does that do nothing else? That's so annoying. I actually got that by trying to think about that being a 1 and this being box 2 or 3 and having the 1 in the middle as well. And then I kind of stumbled into the deduction in the end. Have I thought through these possibilities? If that's 3 and 6, that's 4 or 5. These are from 2, 4 and 5. So if that's 3, that's a 2. If that's 2, I don't really know anything about 3. Oh, this 8 clue. Now, I'd been thinking that this didn't cross the 10 sum clue here. Oh, it's also in the 15 sum. Ooh, okay, this does need some thinking about, I think. If that is a 3, this is 3, 1, 4. I don't think this could be a 4. So if that's a 3, it goes 4. Yeah, it couldn't be 3, 1, 4 because you'd need a 1, 5 pair there, but you've already put 1 in. Okay, so that is not what it does. If it goes 3, 4, 1, then you're definitely going to put 2, 7 in here. And that would be a 7, and that would be a 5, and that would be a 2. Now, the alternative is that 2 is there. So 2 is going to be in one of those cells. Now, if it's 2, 6, are the options fairly limited here? They can't be 1, 6, 3, 2, 3, 5, or 1, 2, 7. Then it's 1, 4, 5 here. And if it's 3, 4, 1, then it's 1, 7, 2. Right. If it's 2, 6, it's 1, 4, 5 here. That would be 4 or 5, and this would be 7 or 8. There's just too many possibilities for me to grapple with here. This one is either a 6 if that's a 2, or a 4 if that's a 3. So that's green. It's never a 2. This one could be a 1. If that's a 3, I can't make that a 1 because they'd both be self-referential. We're only allowed 1 per box. So that is not a 3. That's a 2. That's a 6. Now, let me just check. Why was 3, 1, 4 impossible? Because that would require 1, 5 here as well as the 1 there. Yeah. Okay, so that's green as well. That's a 2. That's not a 2. Now, this is now 1, 4, 5. This one on the 15 diagonal can't be 1. 4, 2 is 6, so either 9 or 8 there. That is not self-referential. That one could be at the moment. 1, 4, 5, 6, 2. These are from 3, 7, 8 and 9. That can't be, because that's position 4. That's position 6. Oh, bother, this could be. No, this isn't allowed to be an 8, because it would have a 9 next to it. And this rule we've come up with says that in box 8 you can't have a 9 alongside it, because box 8 would be there, box 9 would be here with the 9 out here. So that can't be an 8 because of what it forces that to be. So that is green. This is either box 1 or box 5. So we've got 3 of the boxes down to 2 possibilities. If it's box 5, that can't be a 1 and it becomes a 4. And the alternative is this is box 1, so that is never a 5. 5, 4, 1, or 1 and a 5. Ah, then 1, 4, 5. So that can't be a 4. And this turns into a weird chocolate teapot, useless triple. Wow, this is so confusing. Now, box 1 or box 5. Box 1 cannot have a 2 in its row, so that's not box 1. That, in fact, is a 4 in green. This is the self-referential cell and is a 5. That's a 1. This is an 8, is it? Yes, it is. Do the maths. Okay. Oh, this can't be a 3 either. This is simple. It's the rule that I keep forgetting. If that was a 3, the self-referential cell in this box, 2 would be alongside it where it can't be, because we're going to end up with a 3 there and a 2 there, not alongside 3. So that is not 3, that is green. That's actually not 6 then on the sum. This is self-referential Mr. 2. Who sounds like a great name for a song. If that's now 3, 4 or 5, this can't be 3. Yeah, okay, and these digits alongside 2. In the column with 2, we can't have a 5 here, because 2 will be there, 5 will be there in the final grid. So that's not a 5, and that's not a 4. And I suppose in this region, those 2 add up to 9, and those 2 also add up to 9. That can't be a 9, I've only just realised, because it would be self-referential. I hope my colouring of... Yeah, that could never be a 9, because we got box 9 earlier. That was... I should just not have entered it as a candidate number. Okay, that can't be a 5, so that can't be a 7. So we're narrowing this whole thing down a bit, and we've got box 2 and box 5. And in box 5, we've got 4 and 8 in the left-hand column, so they can't be in box 2's left-hand column. Now, if that was a 3, oh, we've removed 4 from this cell, so we can remove 5 from that. If that was a 3, 3, 1, 6, and those would be 5 and 4. If that was a 5, 5, 1, 4, oh, those would be 3 and 6, okay. So the right-hand column, we've got a 2 and a 1, nothing I can remove there. I'm trying to visualize this 2 box above this 5 box. I find it very difficult to do, actually. Oh, but wherever there's an 8 box now, 2 and 1 will be in the left-hand column. You'd have an 8 there, but 2 and 1 would have to be in the left-hand column because they don't appear anywhere here. And 5 would have to be in the right-hand column. This can't be box 8, for the very simple reason that I've only just noticed that that would put an 8 as one of 2 numbers in an 8 cage. Yeah, okay, enough with that. I was actually thinking about how you'd fill the 8 cage not using 1, 2 or 5, but that didn't really matter. Now, come on. Haven't used this 10 sum at all. Don't know anything about this box. Do I know more about this? Yes. No? Nearly. If this was an 8, that couldn't be a 2 because of the 2 cage above it. So if that's an 8, that's a 4. Then that becomes a 3. And those two are the 7-9 pair. It's such a weird grid to play with. So this can still be an 8 as far as I can see. Although interestingly, that pushes 6 to here. Right. I don't think it works. If that's an 8, making this a 4 and that a 3, oh, then 6 goes here. No, there's a 6 there. 6 doesn't go here. 6 can't go here either, because if it's an 8, it's in with row 9. So 6 would be here if that's an 8. And I think that might clash. If that's an 8, we've got 4 there, 3 there. Oh, it doesn't clash. 6 there, 4 there. Oh, bother. Okay, good. Well, I mean, not good, but right. Okay, what am I missing here? Is it this 10 sum? If that's an 8, it makes this a 6. Seems fine. I don't see why it couldn't be. 3, 2, 4, 1, 5, 7. If that's an 8, this is a 6-9 pair. Yeah, I don't know. That seems to work fine. I literally cannot decide whether this is an 8 cage or a 1. Sorry, an 8 box or a 1 box. Okay, let's have a look at this 8 sum. Now, it can't be in the 9 column because there's 3, 1, 6 there, and this then couldn't be filled with 1, 7, 2, 6 or 3, 5. So this is not box 9, box 6 or box 3. We've worked out, well, we know it's not box 2 or box 5, and we've worked out it can't be box 8. So this is either box 1, 4 or 7. And that really doesn't advance my understanding much, unfortunately. Oh, but I can colour in all the 2s and 5 positions as not usable again as self-referential digits. Okay, I'd just forgotten to do that. Now, this is box 1, 4 or 7. If it's box 1 or 7, that can't be a 1, 7 pair. But the trouble is I don't know anything about the other boxes from 1, 4, 7 to know how helpful this is. I am just going to do the weird thing of sketching in complementary pencil marks. This is either box 1 with a 1 there, box 4 with a 4 there, or box 7. I just don't think I've learnt anything about this 8 cage from that. If this was box 1, all I would know is that there was a 3 in that position. Oh, this is such a weird puzzle. So hard to get your head around it. Okay, what about this one? Is this any use? I don't see how. Could be box 1 or box 4. If that was a 6, this would be a 5-9 pair. If that was an 8, this would be a 5-9 pair. But it could also be box 7. This box, I only just realised, doesn't have any pencil marks in it, any drawings or clues in it at all. That's kind of the last box. And actually, this one only has the single question mark. The question mark is the only thing that differentiates these two. That's weird. So that is going to be absolutely vital, that 1, 2, or 3. Ugh. That doesn't make me love the puzzle anymore, I have to say. Gosh, it's so intricate, isn't it? So I'm probably missing something very obvious now. I have spotted that you could use the secret here. If those add up to 10 and those add up to 14, that's 24. And these 4 cells add up to 21. But there's a wide variety of ways of doing that. So it doesn't feel very helpful. Do I know anything about this box? I really don't. How can I make progress without knowing anything about these boxes? How? This one had 2 clues in it. Can I rule out one of these? If that was an 8, I don't think... Oh, that can't be a 1. And this can't be a 7. Because of... You couldn't have a 7 in the same row as an 8. You couldn't have a 2 in the same column as an 8, as a self-referential 8. So let's think about it again. If this is an 8, you get 4, 2 next to it. So the central column of the final grid includes 8, 4, 2, 1, 6, 5, and 3. And then these two are 7 and 9. It is so tempting to just scan across rows and ignore the gaps, and it's so meaningless to do it. Okay, if this is 8, what else does that imply? It's also in the same row as 9. So 6 has to be there, doesn't it, if this is 8? I don't know what it means. If it's box 1, it's in the same row as this. I mean, then I learn that if that were the case in box 3, 1 has to be on the bottom row. It just doesn't float my boat as a deduction, I have to say. Oh, I'm really struggling for the next deduction here. Come on, let's do it, but let's be careful, because it would be easy to make a misassumption across different grids here, just because of the shuffling. Oh, gosh. We've only placed boxes 2, 5, and 9. If that was a 3, this would be a 3, 7, 9 triple. In box 8, 1 and 2. Ah, here it is. Yes. In box 8, because of these, 1 and 2 are going to have to be in the left-hand column. So if that was an 8, this would have to be 1 and 2. But 2 is in one of those 2 cells, so that's not box 8. Wow. I mean, that may be simple to some of you. Not to me, baby. So that's a 1. This is not a 1, obviously. That is now... I don't know if this tells me anything. It tells me there's no 2 there. It tells me there's no 4 or 7 here. So this digit is 5, 6, 8, or 9. This can't be 8. Ah, now we've got the 1 there. So all of these can't be 1s. And they can't be self-referential. So down here, this is either box 4 or box 7. The trouble is, we haven't got much information about the central column of box 1. 6, 9. Now this is box 1. It's next to box 2. They can't have 2 or 3. In fact, they are from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's put them all in. And those go with these. So in box 3, which is either here, here, or here, I don't know. In the row 2 of box 3, we must have a 5 and a 6. Ah, yeah, that's good. Right. Let's assume this was box 3. I don't know that it is. It could be in either of these places too. But if that was a 3, I think we can place both of 5 and 6 in those positions. Why do I say that? Because we've worked out from boxes 1 and 2, their central rows, we haven't used 5 or 6 in the middle row. So 5 and 6 have to be in the middle row of box 3. We're just guessing this is box 3 for now. 5 can't be in that cell because it would be self-referential. And 3 is the self-referential digit. 6 not only can't be in that cell because it would be self-referential, it can't be in that cell because box 3 would come above box 9, which has a 6 in that column. So in box 3, we're going to get a 6 there and a 5 there, and that pattern must apply. Okay, it does not apply here, because if you put that pattern in there, this becomes an 8 and is a second self-referential digit. So that's not box 3. Here, I'm sure it can be. 3, 5, 6. Yeah, I mean, this pattern is right, but it might apply here. This is a very dangerous thing to do, to leave it in, but I don't want to forget that pattern. Ah, and it means that in box 3, wherever it is, there's a 5 in this column, and that can't be a 5 in box 9. So that's not a 4. Now, come on, keep going here. I don't know how to keep this going in any way, but... Oh, that was really interesting while it was going. So, this isn't box 3. This is either box 6, in which case that's a 5-9 pair, box 8, in which case that's a 6-8 pair, or box 7, in which case I know nothing. Well, if this was a 7, that couldn't be 8 or 9. So that would be 5 or 6. That would be 8 or 9. Yeah, I don't think I'm much the wiser. That's really annoying. Although, yeah, I don't know. If that was a 6, this would be a 5-9 pair. They don't seem to sit below 5s and 9s in those boxes. Now, I have to remember, I'm just assuming this is here, but it might be over here. 50-50 at the moment, isn't it? Oh, this is crunching with my head really badly now. Well, this isn't box 6 or box 3, is it? This is box 4 or box 7, so it's definitely on the left. So these cells would need a 1 and a 3 in. That's so uninteresting, it's hardly worth mentioning. Oh, there must be a sum somewhere that I'm not using. Oh, of course, no. I was thinking the X sum clue, but no, I mean, I've effectively used that here. Certainly used that. I've finished that one. These, they can be any number as long as they start with 1, 2, or 3. That's not relevant at all. Right, this is box 4, 6, 7, or 8. if it was box 4 or 7, it would be a partner with this one and this one. What does that tell us, chickadees? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh, maybe I never thought about the third row of boxes 1 and 2 together. Yes, wherever we get... Oh, no. Wherever we have box 3, that's quite interesting, actually. Wherever box 3 is, 1 and 2 are in the bottom row of it, because they're not in the bottom row of boxes 1 or 2. So if that's a 3, then we have 1 and 2 down here somewhere. If that's a 3, then 1 and 2 are down there. Obviously, one of them would be in that cell. So this is all true for box 3, although this actual region might not be box 3. Well, okay, that's something that I hadn't thought about at all before. What about this? This is box 6. Don't know. Box 7. If that was box 7, it makes that be box 4. I don't see how that can possibly help. Box 8 would have a 6 there. Wow, I really am some way from seeing what to do next. Really am. This seems to have... I think the whole box has 2 ways of disambiguating that both seem perfectly fair. Yeah, I mean, that's the connection between the 7, 8, 9 set and the 3, 4, 5, 6 set. It doesn't inhibit either of them from existing. There isn't a general disjoint rule. That is not useful. What on earth are we meant to look at? I'm meant to find some box number which we haven't used and which is useful. Oh, that's quite interesting. Yes, in this putative 3 region, we've used 3, 2, 4, 1, 6 and 5, so that's 7, 8 or 9. It forms a triple with those. In fact, it must be the same as that, which isn't a 9. So that is 7 or 8 in my putative 3 region, which could be here or could be here. And there's no markings in either to... Well, unless I can prove that's not 1 or 2, I don't see how I would ever do... Well, I can see how I might do that at some point, but it's certainly not yet. Let's think about 2 and 5 again. 2, 1, 6, 5. So wherever 8 appears... Well, it's not there, is it? It could be here. And it's going to have 3, 4, 7 or 9 above it. If it was 8 there... with 6 there, that would be 3, 4 or 7 in a 10 sum. It's just, it doesn't do anything. If that was 8, if that was 8, this would be a 5, 9 pair, of which that would have to be a 9 because it couldn't be a 5. So if that was 8, this is a 9, then you've got 6, 5, 1, 2. This is from 3, 4 or 7. It doesn't, again, nothing is getting done by this. What am I missing? Is it something very glaringly obvious, like it probably is all the time? If this was box 4 or box 6, you couldn't have a 6 in the top row because of that in box 5. If this was box 8, you couldn't have an 8 in the top row. So the only way that can be a 5-9 pair is if this is box 7. And I don't know what that proves. It was quite interesting for a second there. It was nearly doing something, wasn't it? But it didn't do it. Wow. Okay, we're into the perseverance phase here. I have a feeling in this puzzle that I need to spot something quite significant. And even then, I won't be anywhere near done. Is there any chance that I've just left some nonsense in that cannot work? Like this, 2 or 5. The trouble is I don't know where boxes 8 and 7 are. And whether they oppose a 2 or 5 there. I don't know anything about boxes 8 and 7 really. Oh, crikey, crikey, crikey. So, boxes 1 and 2 are where I have the row similarity already. That can't be a 5-6 pair. That is totally uninteresting. And then this will be box 3, although it could be over there. Right, come on, think about this now. The top row are 1, 2, 3 gone in the top row. Then these can't be 5 or 6. Interesting. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. These will be from 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, from 4, 7, 8, and 9. Along with all of these, that forms a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sextuple, which actually is not that interesting. How frustrating. It better not be some totally obvious cell which, by being non-self-referential, I failed to eliminate a candidate. I really hope I haven't done that. An essential candidate somewhere. Box 3. So 1, 2, 5, 3, and 9. Still got 4, 7, 6, and 8 to go. Which is why this... Oh, that can't... The trouble is that can be a 3, because this could be where box 3 is meant to be. That's why I haven't shut that off. So, I mean, it's all about these clues that I haven't used yet. Maybe especially these two. If this is box 6, it's under box 3. That's a 5-9 pair. I mean, oh, well, that would have to be the 5 because of that 5. So let's just see what happens. If that's a 6, you get a 5 there and a 9 there. Then this is a 1, 2, 7 triple. Has to be. I've got a little bit of information about the bottom one not being a 1. Oh, the bottom one also couldn't be a 7 because of self-referentiality, so that would be a 2. And you'd have a 1-7 pair up there. So if that was a 6, it's a 1, 2, 7 triple. If that's a 7, this is a 1, 2, 7 triple as well. Are things beginning to get interesting? If that's an 8... That's a 6. Then we're opposite the 9 cage. If that's an 8, that's a 6. Then the 7 cage somewhere has a 6 in the top row. That's not interesting. 8 and 6. Why maybe... Oh, this would then be below... Ah, that would fix this as a 5, wouldn't it? I think I may have done this before, but I'm doing it again. That would make... Yeah, because 8 would be below the 6 cage, the 2 cage. So if that's an 8, that's a 6. This is a 5. This is a 4. In the middle cell of this cage, if that was an 8 and that was a 6, the middle cell of this cage can't be 2, 1, 5 or 6 or 8. It's in the 10 sum, so it's 3 or 7. Now, if I can say it's 7, I know this is a 7, 2, 1 sum all the way. But if it was a 3, so 8, 6, 3, how would this break down? This would have to be a 3, 2, 5 sum in box 8, which would give me a 2, 5 pair in the corner. 8, 6, 9. 3, 2, 5, 8, 6. These would be 1, 4, 7 and 9. Come on. That couldn't be 9 or 1. I can't quite get anything from it. There is just one way that this isn't a 1, 2, 7 triple, and that's if this is 8, that's 6. This is a 2, 3, 5 triple with a 3 in the middle. And these others are 1, 4, 7 and 9. I can't falsify that. That's so annoying. So let's get rid of those pencil marks, which were enticing but not ultimately delivering anything. Oh, come on, I want to spend it. I've got nothing else to do. I don't know what else to do, so I'm going to spend more time thinking about this as a possible 8. Because it's so interesting that if that's a 6 or that's a 7, this is a 1, 2, 7 triple. I just find that powerful, frankly. So if it's box 8 and that was a 2, 3, 5 triple, we're under boxes 2 and 5, so that would be a 3. Ah, the 5 in box 2 is in one of those. So if this was an 8 with a 6 there and a 3 there, that couldn't be a 5, so that would be a 2, that would be a 5. Which is quite specific. And we'd be in box 8, the 5 couldn't be there, the 3 and 6, yeah. That 2 would force that to be a 5. It's quite interesting. It does work. There's only one arrangement. So, if this is 1, 2, 7, because of that being a 6 and off the diagonal, 1, 2, 7. If this is box 6, it's above box 9. Ah, this can never be a 1, can it? Because if that's box 6, the 1 in box 5 stops it being a 1. If this is box 7, that is a 7. And if this is box 8, that's a 2. So that is always a 2 or a 7, whatever it is. If it's a 1, 2, 7 triple with a 7 there, that 1 says it's 2 and 1 like that. If it's a 6 there, causing the 1, 2, 7 triple because of 5, 9 here. So the 6 there has a 1 there and a 2 there to look at it, and also a 1 in the middle. So 1 would have to be up here, but the central cell in cage in box 6 could be a 2 or a 7. So I think these are the only possibilities. I mean, it almost doesn't help unless I know what box number this is, but we are getting some limitations going on. Oh my goodness. So, if it was box 7, that would be a 2. And then it would be above this box, which would become box 4. And that 2 would force a 4 there. So this couldn't have a 2 or a 4 in it. And in fact, if it's box 7, those 3 are a group in which the 1 has to be in the bottom section in box 4. Oh. It's not helping. What am I meant to visualize about this puzzle? Demono, what are you doing to me? You're breaking my head. 55 minutes solving the puzzle. Still haven't got a clue. I really don't feel I'm understanding this. I don't see how to get anything out of this without, I mean, I know it's box 4 or box 7. Can that be box 4 and box 7? I don't see why not. Doesn't have a 10 diagonal in it. Is either that or that diagonal very significant? Yeah, okay. If this went 1, 4, 5, that would be a 3 in row 3 of the final grid. Then you'd get 4 here, 5 and 6 up here. 1, 4, 5. You'd get 3, 4, 5 and 6 up here. What does it mean for me? I don't know. I'm just missing some obvious clue somewhere. Feel that I am, and I can't see it. One, 4, 5 makes that go 3, 4, 8, 7. So if that's a 5, that's a 7. And alternatively, that's a 7. So these can never have a 7 in. I mean, that's the tiniest gain possible, isn't it? If that's a 7, though, oh, that's even more interesting. If that's a 7, that's an 8, that's a 9, that's a 3, that's a 5. So these can never have a 5 in either. Well, it's getting a bit more interesting here. So it's to do with the interaction of these with these. So if that was an 8, this would be 7, 9, 8, 4, 3. And if that was an 8, that's become a 7, so that's a 5. Okay, what's the impact on this thing? If that's an 8, that's a 7, that's a 5, 3 and 4. That has to be a 6, and this becomes a 1, 2, 9 triple. That works, that's possible. So if that is not an 8, this is a 6, 9 pair. Then 9 is going to be up here. So either, well, I knew either 9 or 4 was up here because I know it can't be a 7, 8 pair because of that. So that's not taught me anything at all. That's very, very sad. Oh, good grief. Come on, Mark. Find a little something here. It really just does seem to be about positing possible numbers and seeing what the effect is. 6. Box 6. So if that's box 6, that's a 5, 9 pair. Then we've got 5, 9, 4, 6, 2 in the top row. Then box 4 would select its top row from 1, 3, 7 and 8. Totally uninteresting if that's a 4. It's alongside box 5. Box 6 is going to have a 4 in the bottom row. I don't know. That's not doing anything. I must be able to work out what box this is. That's what's going on. Surely. If this is box 6, that's a 5, 9 pair. This has to be 1, 2, 7. Then 4 would have to be here because it wouldn't be allowed to be there. And 3, 8 would be a pair there. That would be a 2 to avoid being self-referential. So if that was a 6, you get almost all of this painted in. 2, 7, you get a 7 there, which puts a 7 here. Oh, this doesn't work. Wow, this can't be a 6. Right, this can't be a 6 because that can't be self-referential then. It becomes a 2 and that becomes a 7. Yeah, it can't be 2, 3, 5 because you've got 5, 9 here. Yes. So with a 6 there and a 7 there, that becomes a 7. And now you've got a 3, 5, 9 triple here, stopping that being 5 or 9. Wow, that is not box 6. Okay. Okay, what good is that? That is not box 6. So it's either box 7, and this is 7, 2, 1, or it's box 8, and that's a 6. Does 6 have to be here now? No, it probably doesn't. I think that was a bit of a false pencil mark at some point. I think I was saying if that's an 8, that's a 6. Then this can't be 1, 3, 6. Oh, and that can't be 7 if this is 8. So that's a 2. Then that becomes a 5, and that's a 4. And 4 has to be, and one of these is so complicated. Okay, that has an impact here. If that's an 8, no, sorry, if this is 8, if this is box 8, and it is either box 7 or box 8. So it's in a clash with this. Then we can't have a 6 there. That's interesting. It's something. We can't have a 9 here because it is either box 7 or box 8. Wow, okay, so we're down to 2 possibilities for those cells. Come on, baby, come on. What does it mean? That's either 7, 5, making that a 2, or it's 2, 8, making that a 5. That's so weird. if that's a 5, that's a 4. That's when this is an 8 and a 2. Now 4 has to be in one of those, and we're in box 8, and that makes this a 6. That's what I spotted. So this becomes 3. That's 4, that's 8, that's 7. Come on, what does this do? If that's an 8, I think this isn't going to work in some way. Why did I think that? Because that becomes a 2. Then you get 5 and 4. Oh, I don't know. Now I'm confused as to what I was seeing. Was it? Yeah, it was. If this is an 8, that's a 2. This is a 5. That's a 4. That doesn't look down on this. Why did I think it did? Just because they're in the same boxes here. That's so annoying. That looks down on columns, on boxes 3 and 6, and I don't know where they are. Ah, it's so easy to get confused. Right, so I haven't got a reason why this doesn't work. If that's an 8, that's a 6. This has to be 2. 2, 8, 6, 9. Then this has to be 5, and that has to be 4. That 4 then can't be here and must be in one of these two. 8. Oh, that is looking down on this too. It was right. Oh, it's the 4 there that's looking down on this. Gosh, okay, that's good. So that becomes 6. Five, 4, 3, 8, 7, 9. I mean, the ramifications are strong. For instance, I can see you get a 6, 7, 5 here. But it's not something you can look ahead. It feels like a big bifurcation to try and find that. Now, the alternative, if this is a 5, making this a 7, it goes 7, 2, 1, 5, 9, 7, 2, 1, 5, 9. None of that clashes with this box. Well, the 5 does. That makes that a 2, and you get a 7 there. Then in the 8 box, you'll have a 7 in the middle row, but I don't know where that 8 box is. We've got candidates here, here, and here. Oh, I've just reduced it to something here, but I don't know how to use it. So if that's a 7, we go 7, 2, 1. It doesn't actually, yes it does. This now has to be not self-referential, so that's a 5. So if that's a 7, that's a 9. That's looking at this cell, which would have to be 6 or 8. Wow, it's so interesting. This is either 7, 5 or 2, 8, and either way it decides this cell, but I don't know which it is. 6, 9, 3. I cannot see a way to allow myself to use this. This is so close to being powerful, and it's so infinitely frustrating to get stuck here. I just need to come up with a new idea. What idea? Well, I mean, we've limited the other box numbers quite hard. If this was box 4 or box 6, there wasn't a 6 there. If it's box 7, Oh, that was the thing that allowed this to be 5, 9. Now, if that's box 7, this is box 8. So if that's box 7, we get 8, 6, 2, that's if this is box 7. Oh, what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? Is something wrong with it? If that's box 7, this is also box 4, and that's box 8. And the remaining boxes are 3 and 6. The ones at the bottom that we have no idea about. So if that's box 7, that's box 8. So if I was trying to put 6, 8 up there, I'd have to put 8 in one of those cells. I'd have to put 6 in one of those, which would have to be there. Well, it would obviously have to be there, because if that was box 8, that would be a 6. Bother. Oh no, maybe not bother. If that's box 7, that's box 8, and that's a 6, then box 7 needs a 6 in the top row. So there is definitely a 6 in the top row. So even if that was a 5, 9 pair, that would be a 6. That would have to be a 1. No, but that's if that was a 5, 9 pair. It could be a 6, 8 pair. Oh, boy, this is very hard to keep in mind. Oh, you know why I like Sudoku grids where you can actually scan the rows and the columns as they appear? Because of this. Because of this puzzle. That's why I like them. One of those has to be 5 or 7 based on these. Is that of any interest in boxes 2 or 3? They can't both be 5 or 7, but one is. So either that's a 5 or one of these is 7. If one of those is 7, that's an 8. 9, 7, 8. That's 3, that's 5. That's 6, and that's 4, and that's exactly what we need if one of those is 7. That is incredibly annoying. I wanted it to work the other way round. Box 3. Oh, that's interesting. This is definitely above box 9. There has to be a 5 in one of those cells. It can't be there. 6 in box 6 is obviously in position 6. That's not doing anything for me. Oh, well, that's not box 6 now, because we've decided that there is a 6 up here. Whether that was 4, 6 or 8, there was going to be a 6 up here. Oh no, it's the other way round. Oh, that 6 pencil mark is dreadful. If that was a 4, we can't have a 6 up there. If it's a 6, we can't have a 6 up there. If it's an 8, we can't have a 6 up there. The only way we have a 6, 8 pair up there is if that's a 7. Ah, then you get 2, 8, 6. So the only way you have 6, 8 up here, you have a 6 here. That works fine. Oh, I was computing the wrong thing, wasn't I? It's 6, 8 that's the hard combo to put here. It can only occur if this is box 7. I just just don't know much about this box either. Demono has provided so few clues in this puzzle. It is an absolute head-wrencher. I'm going to carry on though, because I mean I find it incredibly interesting, and I really want to know what the solution is. I want to know how we're meant to find out what to do next. I find this incredibly difficult to get my head around, as you can see. So if that's a 7, and that's a... well, if this is a 6-8 pair, this is box 7. This becomes box 8. This becomes box 4. These are boxes 3 and 6 between them. Only way for this to be 6-8 is if this is a 7. I must be able to work out what this box is. That must be the next step. It's got to be. Seven, 2, 1, 5, 9. Then you'd be left with 4, 3, 6, and 8. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm only just seeing this now. If that's a 7, we've got 2, 1. This can't be an 8, so that's 5, 9. 3, 4, 6, and 8 left to play, but 7 is next to box 9. That's 7, 5. Oh, that's become a 2. And that's a 7. So the 3 would have to be down in one of these cells in box 7. So in box 4, wherever it is, it would have to have 3 down the central column. In fact, this would become box 4 with 3 down there somewhere. It's not enough. It's not enough. Okay, if that was 7, this would be 2. That would make this a 4. And this a 2. And this would become a 5. Oh, this I hadn't seen before. It's the effect of that 2 on that cell. If this is a 7, it's in the column with box 1. That's a 2, that's a 4. That's now a 5 on the sum. That's a 1, which is fine. But that 5 in box 1 stops that being a 5 in box 2. Now, I have not seen this possibility before. So, this is a 3. Right, I'm going to, let's get rid of the current pencil marks in here, the corner marks. I'm going to corner mark this in to try and follow it through, because it matters. If that's a 7, that's a 2, that's a 1. This is 4, that's 2, this is 5. Now that's looking at this, that's 3. Then we can do all the numbers in this box. That becomes an 8 on the 12 sum, 7 and 9. Now we've got 3, 4, 7 in the bottom row. 2, 5, 6, 1. Has that actually not changed any of my life at all? 2 is above the 5 thing. 2, 1, 6, 5, 5, 9, 3, 4, 8, 6, 8, 7, 2, 1. Oh, that would become a 7 under 5, 9, 3. So we'd have 5, 9, 3, 4, 7, 8. So the 3 cage would have 2, 1, 6 down the right, and it can't, because it needs something, well, 2 and 1 are in there. So this is not possible. I mean, that's a bit of a look ahead. I don't see how you do that without going through these cells. I mean, you could do it a bit quicker here by knowing that that's a 3. It's all about 2 and 1 in box 3, or is it? Have I got this right? Maybe I haven't got it right. 7, 2, 1. The 2 creates a 4 there and a 5 there. That makes that a 3. How is this going to matter? 3, 4, 7. What is... Why did I suddenly decide that this matters to what goes down there? I may have got this wrong. That's a pity, because it looked like a solution. Oh my goodness, I just can't keep my head around this. 7, 2, 1 makes 4, 5. That makes this... Let's just get rid of those pencil marks because they're confusing me. 7, 2, 1, 4, 2, 5... 3, yeah, we get all of these corner marks. Oh, and I thought that made this a 7 because the 3, 9 are looking at the 7. Yeah, that's true. But it's box 8 where we would then have 2 and 1 on the left. It's not this box, box 3, it's box 8. And either of these candidates for box 8 can easily have 2 and 1 on the left, so it is not that helpful. And that is very distressing as a conclusion. Just when I thought I was getting there. Okay, this is next to box 6. What am I positing? That this is box 7. And this is a 5, isn't it? And this is a 9. And in box 7, no, that is box 7. In box 8, 9 is in the top row now. I don't see how that helps. 7, 9, 2, 5, 1. 3 would have to be in one of those cells in box 7. Not a problem, Your Honour. This would be box 4, 3 would be in one of those cells. But nothing else has constrained those, so it still looks possible for this to be box 7. Oh, why is this doing my head in so badly? For that to be an 8, that's a 6. It's in a column with 5 and 2. Right, that makes this a 5 as well. Ah! So if that's a 7, we get 2 there, 4 there, 5 there. This becomes 6. But if that's an 8, this is 6. Oh, then that becomes 5. Hang on. If that's a 7, 2, 1, 4, 5, three there, 4 there, 5 there. Oh, bother. And if that's an 8, that's a 6. No, that's still right. Yeah, if that's a 7, 2, 1, 4, 5, 3, which eventually makes that a 5. And if that's an 8, that's a 6. And it's looking at that cell in the column, in what would be column 4 in the final puzzle. So that is always a 5. So this resolves the central box. My word, good Lord. I hope this helps, because that took some getting. I don't believe there's a quick way. There, I said it. I don't believe there's a quick way to get that. Now, does this explode? It doesn't. I mean, that worked whether this was 8-6 or 7-2-1. That's incredibly annoying. But if this is 8-6, has it stopped this being 2, 3, 5. Matching up 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5. No. Blinking hasn't. So how am I using this? Right, that's not a 7 and that's not a 9. That's how I'm using it so far. Actually got a cage filled. It feels like progress in this puzzle. A box filled, I mean. Actually, it's the first cage I've got filled. Oh no, I've done that. Did that in the first minute or two. That was a long time ago. Okay, so if this is a 7, then we're next to, that's a 5, that becomes a 2. And that becomes a 7. So if that's a 7, that's a 7 as well. Then the 8 cage needs a 7 in the middle row. Easily done. How is this going to help somewhere else? That's the question now. This is box 2 and it's looking at box 5. So box 8, wherever box 8 is going to have, say it was here, 1, 2, 7 and 6 as a selection there. 8, 3, 7 and 9 up here. I'm looking at you as well. And on the right, 3, 4, 5 and 9. They all seem allowable. Oh my goodness. Okay, 1. Box 1 can't have 5 or 6 at the top now. So box 3 needs a 4 up there and whatever's not one of those. There's definitely a 4 up there. The row 2 of 3, 2, 4, 9, 1, 8, that's become a 7. And there's not a 7 there. Should have been able to work that out. That 7 is seeing that cell, which becomes a 5. Right. This is something, surely. Now, box 7 could still be 7, 2, 1. That's fine. Six, 7, 5, 3, 4. These are from 1, 2, 8 and 9. And they form a quintuple with those. I don't know this is box 3. I could be transferring all this stuff into here at some point. That's fine. Box 3 is above box 9. So you couldn't have a 1 in this cell. That was box 6, this would be a 5-9 pair that would go 5-9. That's the only alternative for box 6, although of course that could be over here as well. Gosh, it hurts. It hurts bad. In box 6, there's got to be a 5 down the middle column. That's so uninteresting. I've got to keep working on whether this is box 7 or box 8. I've got to. If it's box 7, that forces this to be box 4. Then this has to be box 6 or 8, and that's definitely a 5-9 pair. Which couldn't be... no, I haven't got an answer to that. Eight, 6. What would be wrong with that? This would be under the 2 and the 5. Nothing would be wrong with that. So it's quite likely to be right. What would be wrong with 7, 2, 1 under the 1 and 4 things? That would rule 2 out of this cage, because this would be box 4 if that was 7, 2, 1. So if that's a 4, this is either 1, 7 or 3, 5. Ah, it doesn't have a 5 in, because if that's a 7, that's become a 5. Oh! Yeah, it would be 1, 7. That does work, theoretically. If this is a 4, this is a 1, 7 cage. Sorry, if this is 7, that's a 4, and this is a 1, 7 cage. Then you've got 1, 7, 4, 2, 5. The other numbers are 3, 6, 8, and 9. They're all fine. I have to report. No, nothing to see here. Move on. This is one of those puzzles where, you know, I might read the comments and people go, it was so obvious how you went to proceed. It just isn't. It just isn't. If you're not seeing the right thing, it just isn't. Right, in box 3, it must be set up like this now. 3, 5, 7, 6. So in box 6, 7, the middle column has a 5 and whatever's missing from those two. The 5 couldn't go in the middle cell, obviously, so I'm guessing this would be box 6. Actually, it could be there. In fact, the 5 would go there if it was box 6, and that's fine. No, it's not fine. If this was box 6, which needs to have a 5 in the middle column, you'd have to put the 5 there, and that would be a 9 and would clash with that 9. So this is not box 6. So box 6 is the other one of these two. Right, so these two on the corners here could be the wrong way round, but that is going to have to break up the pattern between them. But in box 6 we need a 5 up the middle column. That is the only thing I've claimed about it so far. Now down this right hand column we've got 3, 5, 9, 6. So that can't be a 9. 1, 2, 4, 7 and 8. That's so useless. 3, 1, 6. Let's actually just colour those red for now. Oh, well, I mean, maybe we can just make some progress. I'm conscious that these might have to swap over. That's fine. But now we've only got boxes 4, 6 and 7 left to place up here in those other 3. Okay, well, I mean, I don't know. It's something. That's now a simple 4, 7, 8, 9 quad, isn't it? 6 has to be there somewhere. Come on. Come on. I really don't think I've made many gains, but 6 will be alongside 5, so the 5 can't be there, obviously, because it's self-referential anyway. 6 cages alongside the 5 cage. So these top cells, 4, 6, 2. I don't know. It looks like it doesn't do me any good identifying that these two are the 3 and the 6 cage. Well, anyway, that came from putting a 6 in there and it just didn't work. So if that was an 8, this would be a 5, 9 pair. The 8 would be under this, so that would be 9. 9, 8. This would be 3 or 7. And if that was an 8, this would be box 7, definitely. So you'd have an 8 here, 5, 9 at the top. That would be 5 and 9, 7, 2, 1. Two couldn't be anywhere there. I don't know what that means. Feels interesting that if that's an 8, but if that's a 7, that's box 4, and that is box 8. If that's box 8, then these are boxes 4 and 7 in some order. Yeah. What does it mean? I do not know. I clearly do not know. I just feel the relationship between those cells seems powerful. If that's 8, that's 2, and it fixes this as a 5. So there must be a 5. Either that's a 5 or that's a 5 in boxes 9 and 8. So in box 7, wherever it is, there is not a 5 in the bottom row. That's not true, because that might be box 7, which is why that would be a 5. Bother. So what I meant is in whichever is unknown box 7 or 8, there isn't another 5 in the bottom row. That doesn't even rule that 5 out, because that's in box 6, about which I don't care a fig. That's 2, 5, 7 or 8. It can't be a self-referential 4. Totally uninteresting pencil marking. I hope it's not just the caution of not reading across boxes that is slowing me down here. I am trying to be very cautious, but I think it's necessary in this puzzle. I don't really regret that. Boxes 1, 2 and 3, which, look, I've got an actual complete row in the final grid. Didn't really know I had that. 5, 3, 4, 7... And this box 3, which can't have 3, 1, 6 down there. 9, 3, 5, 6. I don't know what I'm looking at anymore. If that's box 4, this had to be a 1-7 pair, didn't it? And otherwise it's box 7. So 7 in this box is definitely confined to that area. It's totally uninteresting, because I don't know whether it's box 7 or box 4. If it's box 4, do I know? Yes, I do. The 1 couldn't be on the bottom, so that would be 7. So 7 is never there. So 7 in this box is definitely down in one of these cells. If it's box 4, that goes 4, 1. And you've got 5 and whatever's there, and 6. Yeah, this really would go easier if I started to assemble the grid now, but I wouldn't quite know, because I don't know which boxes 4, 7 and 8 are, how to put it together. Now, come on, work out what's wrong here. If that was an 8, that would be a 6. and that would be a 2. So you'd have 6, 2, 5, 9, 3, 4, 8, 7, 1. So if that's an 8, you get a 1 there. So this is never a 7. This goes 2, 3, 5 if that's an 8. 8, 6, 2, 3, 5. So the central columns will be 8, 3, 2, 1, 4, 6, 5, 7 or 9 there, 7 or 9 there. And this column would have a 5 in it to go with 6, 8, 7, 2, 1. So the other 3 cells, well, they wouldn't have a 3 in it because that would be the 3. That would be a 4, 9 pair in box 8, which would have to have the 4 there and the 9 there. Right, let me get rid of those pencil marks, those corner marks, and look at what happens with an 8. You get a 6 here. This can't be self-referential. 2, 3, 5. And this is partly because we've worked out you'd get a 1 here. 1, 6, 2, 5, 9, 3. You'd get a 7 here. I'm looking at the columns of 2, 5, and 8. 6, 8, 7, 2, 1, 5. That would be a 4, 9 pair. And we know which way round they would be because 9 couldn't be at the bottom. 4, 9, that would be a 3. That would be a 9. The middle columns would be 6, 5, 9, 2, 1, 4, 7, 3, 8. And this would have a 1 in a self-referential box, and that's impossible. It is not an 8 here. Yes, this will get me through, surely. He's prayed. Right, that's a 5, because it's box 7 we're in. Wow. Okay, sorry about that. I mean, it's not easy. Positing an 8 there and working out that column fully and getting the 1 there and realizing it's self-referential. I don't believe that's easy, but there we go. Those are green. That's box 4. Let's get rid of that pencil mark. In fact, well, I will go back and work out that that's a 1, 7 because I think it is. This is not box 4. I still have to bear in mind that I might be swapping boxes 3 and 6. This is box 8. That's not an 8, 6 pair. I've got a lot of information now. Let's start here. 7, 2, 1 up the... Given up on that. 9. These pencil marks are all wrong. That's fine. We get rid of them. These are... Well, let's have a look at these columns. Oh no, this is column 7 now, so I can't compare it with that. Okay. Slow. Slow and steady will win this race. Right, we are in row 7. 7, 5, 6, 9, 8, well, row 9 of the final grid. That 5 has made this a 2. That's the sort of thing we need to be happening now. So, in row 7, we've got 7, 5, 2, 6, 9, 8. That is 3 or 4. We've got 1, 3, and 4 to fill in. These are from 4, 5, and 8. That can't be self-referential 4. Now the second rows, 9, 2, oh, very little there. The top row, 5, 9, 3, 7, 1. The 2 in this row has to be here. 5, 9, 2, 3, 7, 1. That's not a 5. These are from 4, 6, 8. But 7 is under box 1, so that can't be 4. This can't be a 6 because it would be self-referential. These include 6 and 7. This is box 8 though. The 6 can't be in the second column or the third column, so it's in the first column. The 7 can't be in the third column, so it's in the second column. And this is 1, 3, or 4 over here. 6, 8, 7, 2, 1. Yeah, so we know that that's 3, that's 4, that's 9, this is 5. We're getting some very complete looking boxes here. 2, 1, 4, 9, 7, 8, 6, 5, 3, as long as I'm comparing the right boxes all the time, and I'm trying to. I've finished columns 4, 5 and 6 in the final grid. Weird, but true. Okay, so this is box 8 and this is box 9, so that's a 4 to make up the row. This top row hasn't changed, although we can get rid of 4 from those cells. This is the only place for 3. And this central row goes 9, 2, 3, 6, 7, 4, 1, and a 5, 8 pair, so that's a 4. Okay, so that's quite good. Now, row, no, boxes 9, 6, and 3, yuck. Yes, that 5 is looking at that cell. Okay, that's all right. 7, 8, 9, the 8 is looking at that cell. 7, 8, 9, 3, 5, 6. So these others are from 1, 2, 4. And there must be a 4 in one of those two. I've got to remember, this might be wrong. We might be swapping the 6 and the 3 boxes still. Oh, that's hideous. But I think I needed to see that. Right. Box 3 is under box 9. So that 4 is fixing where 4 is here. It's there. So this central column, 3, 1, 6, 4, 7. These are from 2, 5, 8, and 9. There's a couple of there's several self-referential impossibilities there, including that one I hadn't seen before. Okay, now it was this. I haven't even come back to this. This is 4, 5, and 7. Can't have a 2 or a 5 in, so it is a 1, 7 pair. We know which way round from this box, which has a 7 there. Yes, that's okay. So 4, 7, 1. Now, the central columns of 4, 1, and 7. 7, 1, 2, 5, 4. That can't be 7. That's a 6, 8, 9 triple. This is a 3. The right-hand column, 1, 3, 9, 7. That can't be a 9. That's a 6, 8 pair. This is 2, 4, 5. This must be 6, 8, 9, which go with 1, 3, 4, and 2, 5 to make this a 7. Now, can we look? Yeah, we can look next to the 4 at box 5, which has a 9, 6, 9, 8 in those rows, and this cannot be a self-referential 9, and that can't be a self-referential 6. So they're all done. That must inform box 6, mustn't it? That 5 and 2 are done by that too. Good Lord. Right, so 4, 6, 2, 5, 3, 9. This is 1, 8, 7 across the top of box 6. That's suddenly got easy. 4, 1, 8, 7, 5, 9, 6, 2, 3. This is 4, 5, 9, and I must be able to look up row 3 and 9. 4, 5 there, so that's a 9. So this is in the wrong box. Curses! But I will move it in a second, and I will move it very carefully. 5 and 4 there, yeah, I've got a 5 there. So the box reads 7, 8, 1, 3, 2, 6, 9, 5, 4. How am I going to memorize that? Okay, I'm going to memorize this. 4, 3, 6, 7, 5. Let's get rid of all that. Then let's transfer the digits from across. And then I didn't memorize it, did I? This was box, well, this must be easy to work out. This was box 6. This is box 3. Pretty sure that's right. It was 4, 3, wasn't it? I'm going to just check it all again, because why not? So boxes 1 and 2. We've got 5, 2, 6, 3, 1, 7. These are from 4, 8, 9. But I think I knew where the 4 went from box 9. Yes, 4 has to be there. Now, across here, this is box 3. So 9, 1, 8, 3, 4, 2. This is 5, 6, 7. The order is given, oh yes, by boxes 6 and 9. Can't be 5, 6, then 7. That wasn't right. 5, 6, then 7, and self-referential stops that being a 5. There we go, that's what I had. These are from 1, 2, 8, 9, and looking up to boxes 6 and 9, 9, 2, 8, 1 come out, and 2, 1, and 8, 9 come out. Look at that. So we get 2 here, 9 here, 8 here. This 1 is fine for the clue. That question mark is a 1. I've got 5 cells to do somehow. Right, the top row of boxes 1, 2, 3, 8, 4, 3, 5, 2, 6, 1, 9, 7, 6, 8 there, and they're looking down to here, 6 and 8 here, and that must finish this puzzle. Yes, and there is a solution correct input there, thank goodness. Wow, well that is Sudoku Band by Demono. It's probably not quite as hard as I made it, but it is very hard. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Frankly, that was enormous fun, but the frustration bits in the middle, they're actually so easily forgotten. There must be some hormone that kicks in to make you forget the frustration. I don't know, if you followed me all the way through that, thank you for sticking with me. I really don't know why you do it, but I hope you got something out of it. Sometimes the lesson is just perseverance. It's not skill. Wow, what a puzzle. Thanks, Demono. Hope to see you again soon on the channel. Bye for now.